What's up everybody, this is Damron playing Splinter Cell Blacklist. This is part 12, the final part, the final mission of this game on Perfectionist difficulty. Also trying to do the no kill option engaged, which is to beat the entire game as Sam Fisher without killing anyone. So let's go ahead and get started. I know this is an older game, I've mentioned that in previous videos, but some of the older guides were a little outdated. The gameplay was very dark, so I've kind of, when I was playing it, I was like, I'm just going to make a guide, brighten up the gameplay, show you some more efficient and more tactical ways to get through some of these missions. Obviously, credit to where credit is due, and I've said that in previous videos. I did use Macca's guides to tackle a few areas, and some of the areas that I do are the same methods that he uses, so credit to him for that. So let's go ahead and dive into this final mission. As you saw, just take the path, the exact path that I took up to get to this building right here where your marker is, and we're going to go into this side entrance right here. And once we get in, we then are going to interact with the computer to turn off the ventilation system, and that's the first thing you need to do in this mission. So go ahead and get into the building, and there's 3 guys in here. It's very important that you use cover to cover to make this jump, because if you use cover to cover, miraculously they cannot see you, and you can now disable the van, or disable the vent, I should say, the fan for the vent, and now cover to cover back across. And by doing the cover to cover there, you are not going to be seen. So that's very critical. And then on the way out, there's always a helmeted guy that's going to be kind of patrolling this area. So you want to mark him, get an idea of where he is, however you want to do it. That's really the only guy that's going to give you any trouble for getting out of this entire first area, is this one helmeted guy. So once I exit the building of shutting down the computer, I do like to go ahead and stealth knock him out, because then we're pretty much in the clear to get past this section of the level. And I do like to go wide here, because there are some snipers on the roof of the building that we were just on, that if you are in the sunlight or the light exposed areas, I should say, from the actual lights, not sunlight but just the light shining down, they can actually see you. So go ahead and take the extra second to go wide and get into this second area, and then we're going to drop down, and we're pretty much safe once we get here into the ventilation that you just stopped the fan in order to access the bunker. So now that we've done that, you'll get into this area which has a lot of lasers inside the elevator shaft. So you just need to take your time here. We're going to go to the left side, and we're going to drop down on this ladder, and then we're going to go down below or above this laser here, whichever you choose. I'm going above here, and then what you're waiting for is, as soon as it passes the ladder on the right, we're going to jump down and we're going to shimmy all along to the other side, and there's going to be another laser that's coming on the other side. So go ahead and stand up on the ledge here, and just like the other side, we're going to wait for this laser to come here and then start going the other way. Once it goes the other way, you're pretty much in the clear to shimmy over to the vent system and go into the next shaft, which is another laser area. Once you work your way into this laser section of the map, and there's a lot of just kind of climbing around in this level, there's a few difficult parts, but I'm going to show you how to get through this level in a breeze. So drop down onto this ledge, and we're basically just waiting for these lasers to our left and right to go up, and then all the ones on below us to go past us, so we can drop down and now shimmy along to the right. And we're going to get onto this mid pipe here. We're going to swap sides, shimmy around, and then climb up again. And you want to climb up and put yourself in this corner so the lasers that are going up and down can't hit you. And now we're just going to do the same exact thing we did on the other side. As soon as those lasers on below us are in the clear, we can go ahead and drop down to this ladder, and then we're going to go down the ladder once that laser is to the right, and you can see the final laser on the bottom. Once that goes to the right, we're good to go to the right and pop back up in that ventilation shaft. Of course, take your time. I almost got hit by the laser there. I think I was stuck, but once as soon as it passes the ladder, drop down to the ledge and then climb up into the ventilation shaft, and you should have no problem getting into the bunker. So now we're past that, and there's usually a guy right below the entrance of the ventilation shaft here, but you should be able to stealth knock him out to enter the next section. Once we're here, we're going to go through this doorway. Keep in mind there is a guy at the end of this hallway through this door, and if he is facing you, which he is not right here, he can spot you pretty quick. So he turned around there and I almost got spotted. You saw that. So if he is facing you, just wait until he turns around. Nonetheless, enter the ventilation shaft that's on the right side of the hallway and take that around to this room. And once you enter this room, we're going to go over to the elevator shafts. There could be a guy here. If there is, just go ahead and stealth take him down. But what we really want to do is go into this vent system here on the right side of that room, and we're going to use that to go all the way to the bottom and open the exit here. Now there is a guy to the right in this bulletproof glass. You can see the bullet holes, but check the mini map. There is a guy there, so if you are quick, he may still be in that room. So you want to be sure you go ahead and let him exit the room and go to your left. Once he does that, you're actually in the clear to exit the vent and go into this room. And we're going to take shop right here next to some of these, filing cabinets, like someone got fired. And there is another elevator back there, and there is a guy there. Go ahead and sleep dart him, and boom, we're past that section and we're moving on. So just to the right of that open elevator, you'll see a gap here. Go ahead and jump that gap and you'll see some things you can climb, and that's going to kind of take you into the next area. We're going to do a little bit of climbing here, walk around this catwalk, and basically we're trying to get to that indicator that you can see kind of below us. But make your way just the way that I am onto the opposite side of the room, and once you go around this gate here, you'll see a fast rope that you can take down. We're going to rappel that to the next level, and then we're going to take this catwalk into the area where that marker is. And there's a bunch of lasers in here, but none that you really need to worry about. Just go ahead and shimmy to the middle platform, and then go ahead and switch sides, and you'll interact with this network portal just by pressing A. Once we've done that, again, swap sides again. We're going to climb all the way to the right, in which you'll see this ladder in the back right of this room. And this is really the only part you have to worry about the ladders, but just slide down, and once they're past the ladder, we're on to the next part of the level basically. So that part's pretty easy. And now we're going to a part that gives a lot of people a little bit of trouble, but I'm going to show you a really easy way to get past this. So we're going to drop down over this ledge, shimmy all the way to the other side of the room, and once you get to the other wall, you may want to have a sticky noise maker available to you. I'll show you where that could play a role. I don't think I actually needed to use it this playthrough, but once you get to the other end of the wall, now we can drop down and shimmy around the side of this building that's kind of occupying, or this structure that's occupying the center portion of this room, and you can drop all the way to the second to last level, or the last ledge, so to speak. Now if you needed to, you could, as you can see there, you could throw a noise maker, but these guys actually walked away conveniently, because all you need to do is drop down here and get into this grate that's right here. That's all you need to do basically to get by that entire section of this level essentially, because now we're past the vision of everybody in that room, and all we really have to worry about is this one helmeted guy. So you can just kind of take cover right here on this wall, and we're just going to wait for him to walk away, and when he does, we'll just go into that door, and we're essentially past that entire room very easily. Alright, so once you get into this room here, what you're looking for is the grate that's up above you, and we're going to climb into that ventilation system in order to get to the next large area of this mission. And this part is kind of tricky because you have to interact with location A, B, and C. If you mess up at all in this section, you will start all the way back where we just were. So as you can see, I went to the right side of this room here, go into this vent, open it on the other side, sprint across that hall, and we're going to open this vent and go into this room, and we're into part C, where we need to cut the comms. If you do that very quickly, just as I did, you should be able to cut the comms, exit the room before that guy in the room even turns around. And now when we get to this hallway, just sprint across, and hopefully you won't be seen by the enemies that are patrolling that hallway. We're essentially going back to this room, and we're going to, if you can watch your mini map now, you actually see the cursor that's moving across. As soon as it passes me, I'm good to open up the door, and now we're going to go to the other side of the room. I just sprint straight across here, and generally that guy won't see me, and go into this vent through this one, and now we're into part B. So we're doing this really quickly, and what I do is I just wait until these two guys kind of coalesce at objective B, which they always do, and then I just sleep gas both of them. It's a good way to get them off the board and not have them actually patrolling outside of the room, which they will do if you don't mess with them at all. So go ahead and gas them, and now we're going to interact with part B, or objective B, disabling the security. So we're moving pretty quickly. This particular path that I'm showing you here is a very easy way to tackle this section. This guy here, he couldn't be right here. He generally will walk over here kind of inspecting why is this grate open. Nonetheless, once him and the little robot that can identify people is out of your vision, again, just watch your mini map. You're pretty much good. You can come out here and get cover right here, and what we're just waiting for him to turn around, really. And once he does, then here comes the little spying robot, so we're gonna go ahead and let that pass. But once it passes, we're gonna jump up onto this metal pipe that is actually above the center part of this hallway, that I'll show you here, and that'll allow us to get past the security camera with no difficulty. So you can see it right here, this red pipe. Go ahead and jump up there. We're gonna walk all the way to the edge of this hallway, and now all we need to do is wait for this guy to decide that he wants to actually do something with his life, and he'll do that eventually. So he'll walk away, and once he does, we're good to drop down and go into the last objective in this area. So drop down, immediately go into the room. We're going to turn right, go up these stairs, and then we're going to enter this room back here. Once you go into this room, immediately turn left and go down the stairs, and you can see this vent that we're going to open. Now we can take this vent to the back of the room, and we'll be able to disable objective A without having to mess with the two enemies in that room. Now be sure you saw they started to spot me there, so be sure you interact with that pretty quickly. Now do them in the order that I showed you to do them, and we'll actually be in an easy position to interact with the final objective by going back through the vent, going into this room, and immediately on the left is a vent. We'll be able to drop down. When you drop down, open the vent that you essentially is right in front of you, and we're going to walk all the way across this hallway, and you're going to see a door on our right here at the second wall. Go into that, and you're going to find a path that goes down. That path that goes down is going to lead us to our final objective in this area, and we're going to trigger some cutscenes.
Sam, Briggs, it's Grim. We're back up. Someone in the bunker.
Why isn't air circulating? Do you copy?
Ventilation is off.
So we're kind of blasting through all these cutscenes really quick. I do have a video up, just mention that now, that shows us all the cutscene and all the story related stuff, sort of as a Splinter Cell Blacklist movie. So if you want to check that out, feel free to check that out. Keep in mind you are Briggs right here, so you will have to perform an execution of your fifth freedom. So that's okay, it's not going to count as you. Again, you're not Sam Fisher, so don't worry about that. Eventually we're going to get through these cutscenes, and we're going to be playing as Sam Fisher again, kind of as a hostage, and we're going to be exiting Site F. And as we're doing that right here, there's really not much you can do other than walk. You will kind of trigger sort of like a cutscene, really, just by pressing A. And once we get past this, we're actually on to the final battle of the game against Sadiq. This is an awesome game. I'll just take a moment to say that. If you guys haven't played this game, highly recommend you check it out. Super fun. So once this little action sequence kind of plays out, and you run up here, you'll see again another cutscene. And our final part of Splinter Cell Blacklist on Perfectionist, no kill option engaged, is to pursue Sadiq. And it's going to put you in this little ending area. And what you need to do is cover to cover to different covers in this kind of arena-like area, and there are lights that kind of go around this area in a clockwise fashion, and you want to do your movements basically when you're not in the light. And as long as you cover to cover in the darkness, you'll be able to essentially position yourself behind Sadiq for a takedown, and that's going to trigger some kind of button mashing mechanisms that you have to successfully complete in order to beat the level. So you're going to see that here. And so enjoy this ending. I'm not going to show the ending again. I do have a video up after this little fight. You're going to walk away towards your paladin, and you're going to get into a hand-to-hand combat with him that you need to successfully beat in order to beat the game on Splinter Cell Blacklist, Perfectionist difficulty, no kill option engaged. I hope you guys that are watching this have enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this game. I know it's older, but you know, I just play what I want. I could care less how old it is. Super fun game. And for those of you that do watch it and, you know, get to this point, I really hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully we'll see you in another one of my videos. And I'll also link my collectibles guide here, as well as my full Splinter Cell playlist and the Splinter Cell movie, which is all the cutscenes and the story related stuff. So thanks again, guys, and I hope you get all the achievements. We'll see you around.
You think this ends with me? There's always another option.